together, and there's no separation. Everybody's just one big family when something like this happens.
I want my viewers to get to know Brandon a little bit, and I know that you can help us make that happen. Because, folks, you see Officer Vanderhorst, you see here, he's the son of a police officer. In fact, Dad's still working, isn't he, out there in Sylvania Township or something?
Yep.
And it's your belief that that same desire controlled Brandon Stalker. In other words, that his work just kind of energized him, didn't it?
Absolutely. There is very few people that will come to this job and be as excited to go out and work. It wasn't just a job for Brandon. He loved doing it. He was excited to come to work. Having him as a partner, I fed off that energy. I was excited to come into work. We went out and we did what we had to do. We answered our calls like we needed to, but we had fun doing it because it's something that we both loved. And just having him next to me, feeding off that energy, it was incredible. It was something that I'll probably never have again.
Talked about you guys being partners for most of 2020. Actually, COVID had all of you guys patrolling solo for a time, right, to be separated from each other. When that was lifted, Officer Stalker and you were partners then for the remainder of the year through New Year's. But then even a very standard reassignment for 2021, you guys were still working the same shift. You still saw each other every day. In fact, you saw him just a few days before we lost him.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we were still hanging out, more than just being partners at work. I mean, he was one of my absolute best friends outside of work. So, we'd go home, we'd take off the uniform, and then we'd come hang out again because he was just that kind of guy. He recently, I know I was telling you earlier, we just recently moved, and he came over and he was helping me move. I didn't even have to ask him. He told me he was going to come over and move because that's just the kind of guy he was. Friends were everything. And he wanted to be with his friends, and it was incredible to have somebody like Brandon there for you.
Folks, nobody likes moving. We do it for friends if they ask us. This guy, you tell me, didn't even have to be asked. It was
I didn't
natural
even ask
for him.
Yep. He called me and he asked me if I was still moving. I said, yeah, we are. And he told me, he's like, okay. He said, I'm in my truck and I'm on my way. He said, I'll be there in about 25 minutes.
When I see us lose officers in now two in a matter of months, yes, we've lost police officers. It hurts the department, hurts the community. You know what I think of? And it's the dad. It's now the granddad in me, Mitch. I think of the kids who've lost a dad forever. You and I talked. Our dads, for each of us, were and are massive influences in our lives. Officer Stalker, he wore that dad hat proudly, and you say daily.
Oh, there wasn't a single shift that went by that he wasn't bragging about Kenna or Grayson. I mean, we talked about him constantly. I talk about my daughter, and he'd talk about Kenna and Grayson, and the smile that lit up his face was a smile that you're never going to find on another person. He couldn't have been more proud to be the father that he was, and you could tell it in his smile and in his voice every time those kids were brought up.
Well, Brandon was a baseball guy too, a Whitmer Panther, and even helped coach the team. You guys were even making plans for 3-month-old. I said 3-month-old, folks. Grayson starting to learn baseball, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep. I mean, Brandon was huge into baseball. We used to teach each other all the time. I played baseball growing up too, and and we always said that somewhere along the paths of us playing baseball, we probably crossed. We played each other, but we just didn't know it then. Yeah. And so we tease each other about who was the better baseball player. And, we said that come spring, we were going to go out and we were going to hit the batting cages and go throw and put it to the test a little bit. But.
Okay, Officer Vanderhorst, I need to take a quick break here. This is Mitch Vanderhorst, close friend, longtime partner, most of last year with a heroic Toledo police officer who this week gave his life in the line of duty. I need to take a break. We'll be right back. This is Leading Edge.